Heidi with Morbidly Beautiful Horror, and today I'm going to talk about Rob Zombie's new movie, 31. There's been a lot of mixed reviews about it. A lot of people posting on social media how, it's terrible, or some people said they enjoyed it, but I've heard a lot of people complaining about it, and so I wanted to check it out and see, what it was all about. I really knew nothing about it. All I knew was I had seen some of the posters and some of the promotional pictures, which had like a big creepy clown head on a van and stuff. And so to me, it looked like it was going to be kind of like a carnival circus kind of movie, and that looked pretty cool. When I watched it, I realized it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, and I think maybe that was kind of an issue a lot of people were having, is maybe they weren't expecting it to be what it was. But what it was a slasher set in the 70s, and if you watch it, that's what it looks like, that's what it is. So I think that one thing, people should not go into this with a bunch of expectations. Watch it, just appreciate it for what it is, and stop complaining about what it isn't, because what it is a slasher, and if you watch it, it has everything that a slasher needs. It's got the actors doing things that make you yell at the TV, where you're like, the guy's coming up and you don't have a bat, like, fucking hit the guy. You're yelling, you're like, stop sitting there crying, just do it. Do something, protect yourself. That kind of stuff. So there's plenty of that to yell at the TV. And there's a time where, like, the first killer, I don't want to give away too much. I mean, I don't really need to give a rundown of the movie, because either you've already seen it or you're gonna watch it. I don't know. Whatever. But there's a killer. They actually knock him out. And obviously, when you're sitting on your couch watching it, you think, make sure that guy is dead. Fucking beat him to death. But they don't, of course, because they can't. It's a movie. They want people to stress about that and everything, and he comes back and kills somebody. So I have a few points that I wanted to bring up. Let's see. Okay, well, I mean, this movie, it is a slasher. It is what it is. I don't really watch slashers because they're not really the style of movies that I like. But, I mean, I can appreciate, what's going on here. I mean, it's not anything really new or creative, innovative. There is a twist to it, with the different characters, the different killers, and the premise of the movie that, it's a game that these people have to play, put on by, a group of rich people who enjoy, I guess, people suffering. And so I guess the movie, it also gives you, like, kind of a look into the human condition, which people like to see, and it comes from all different parts, because we see the people who are having to play the game, and like them trying to survive, them trying to help their friends out, things like that. And then we see the people putting on the game, and we see that they are enjoying, all of this. They're enjoying, killing, watching these people getting killed, watching what they're going to do to survive. And so, I mean, and then we have the people, the killers that are involved in the game, who, they're actually pawns also. I think maybe they just are so wrapped up in thinking they're going to kill people and thinking that they're, like, tough, that they don't realize that they're also being used, because throughout the game, the people move forward after they've killed, whatever obstacle has come their way. So, I mean, these people, maybe they think, like, oh, they're getting paid really well, they get to have fun, they get to kill all these people, but really, there's a huge possibility that they're going to get killed, and those people putting on the game really don't give a shit. what happens to them. Obviously, it gets a little cheesy at times, but I mean, what do you expect? It's a slasher, like that. Who cares? Like, it's a movie. If I can watch it. One thing I saw on Facebook that I wanted to mention was that somebody said that the camera work was lazy, and when I watched it, maybe the person didn't understand, but it's just the camera work is handheld. It's a style. It looks great. I thought it looked great, and it was really true to like the era that they're going for the genre, for the slasher genre. I thought it looked great, and I didn't think it was lazy. So I don't know what people are expecting, you know, like these big crazy things, because they're so quick to just judge and talk shit without just looking at it and being like, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what they're trying to make it look like. And it does. It looks like it was filmed in the 70s. You know, it looks like any other slasher from that time. There was one thing that was kind of weird is when they transitioned from the people in the game, and then they go to the people who are putting on the game, and they're watching or talking about it. The styles look kind of different from each other, which kind of was weird to me, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a movie. You can do whatever you want in your movie, you know, as a director. So, I mean, that's fine. That's what he wanted to do, and it doesn't look bad. It just was kind of weird to me that you know, the two styles were so different. And then also, it's kind of like when they were inside the game, it looked like they were inside a Freddy Krueger dream or something. I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up because that's what it reminded me of. I did read up on it because I was curious what the budget was, and it was $1.5 million, which, you know, in the micro budget world, that's like crazy amount of money, but in Hollywood, that's still considered low budget. I think that low budget is actually like $2 million and below, so it was pretty low budget. You could tell they did things like, you know, when there were kills and gore, they wouldn't actually show it, and that's a way to keep the budget down, you know, because they did do practical effects, which is really cool. But sometimes in filmmaking, if you have practical effects and a lot of gore, you don't always show it all. Like, you imply that they, you know, that they smashed someone's head in, or you know that they did it, but they don't actually show it because that's going to be too expensive. So I know that a lot of people were saying that it was kind of a step back from his work, and it was because it was a lot lower budget. Maybe they could have done things that, you know, to help the budget go farther. One thing I thought wasn't really necessary was to have Malcolm McDowell in it. I really don't think it added anything to the movie for him to play, or for him to be in it. So I think maybe that's something that they could have done, was possibly not had such an name actor, and they could have used that money toward, you know, showing more of the special effects, and maybe that would have been, you know, added to the movie and made it more impressive. Obviously, this is a slasher. Things are gonna get kind of cheesy and things like that, but one thing that did kind of bother me was the part when they had that Rocky Horror moment. I'm sure maybe Rob Zombie's a fan of Rocky Horror Picture Show and whatever, but I don't, like, yeah, maybe you can, in your movie you can do something that's like inspired, but they just straight, they had like this meal, and they all started finally eating it, and then they're like, oh wait, hold on a minute, and they, you know, pulled back the tablecloth, and oh no, our friend is in there all cut up, we're eating our friend. That was, you know, obviously Rocky Horror tribute or homage or whatever, but I didn't like it. I get it, but I don't think that you should like just blatantly put like exactly what happened in another movie. Also, it's like that friend just died. And then they walk over. There's this fully prepared meal and they're eating it and it's delicious. And then they find out that they're eating him and it's like, well, how do those people have time to make such a delicious meal out of him in like 10 minutes or whatever? So I thought that was a little weird. Maybe you're not supposed to think about that. You're supposed to think, oh, that's creepy, and just shut up and watch the movie, which I try to do most of the time, when I'm watching Lifetime, stuff like that. You're like, oh, who cares? It's just Lifetime. Don't worry about it. So maybe that's what you're supposed to do there. But I didn't like it. I did not. That was one thing. That was the only thing that I was like, no, that shouldn't have been in there. But everything else, I thought it was great for what it was. I liked, there's the guy at the end that comes in and he just thinks he's so, tough and badass and that he can just kill anybody and he's, like the best killer ever or whatever. It would have been cool, or maybe later in another movie it'd be cool to see him like finding out that he's not so great. I don't know. I kind of like when there's people who just think they're so fucking awesome and they get put in their place. But however, I do like that. I do like when the bad guys win at the end. All in all, I thought it was, for what it was good. It was a slasher based in the 70s. That's what it looked like. And, it served its purpose. There we go.